there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaded Path, which is located in Forest City, North Carolina. For today's video, I'm going to teach you a new ring design, and I call it the Retro Glam ring. I like to use the Montees a lot in my designs because I think it makes me think of like retro 40s and 50s, you know, rhinestones, real big stones and things like that in their jewelry, and I love that look. So for the project today, I'm going to actually go back in and go over the materials list and show you what you're going to need. So if you'll get your bead mat together and get a list together, we'll go ahead and get started with what we need. This is the ring that I'm going to be teaching you to make today. And this one here is the specific colors that I will be using. This one is turquoise and crystal AB. This one is crystal AB with jet. This one is Pacific Opal with crystal honey underneath it, which is a really pretty brown color, very light brown. And then this one is Violet AB with amethyst. And you can see using different colors can completely change the look of the ring. But to make the ring, what you're going to need is 24 4mm bicones. Now the bicones I'm going to be using today are the turquoise double AB. And these are going to be everywhere you see my turquoise. It's basically going to be the whole base of the ring. You're going to need 9 3.9mm Montees, and those are going to be the whole top of the ring. You're going to need 1 gram of a size 15 seed bead. I'm going to be using the crystal AB today, and basically those are going to go on each side of your Monte. So it blends in really good here, so you can't see it as much, but that's where those will be. And then you're only going to need 12 size 11 seed beads, and these are actually going to go along the outer edge of our ring, and that's the only place. I'm also going to be using 3mm round beads for my band. The band is stretchy, so that's what I'll be using today. I'm going to be using 0.5mm stretch cord for the band, and you're going to need 2 yards of 6-pound Fireline to actually stitch the top. So to get started, what I've done is you can either use a big eye needle or a size 12 needle onto each end of your 2-yard piece of Fireline. And last week, or a couple of weeks ago, not many people had trouble with the suspicion ring, and so I thought that I would do the base similar to the suspicion ring, so that way you can, you know, have an easier time doing it. But with one needle, you're going to pick up 3 4mm bicones, and we're going to let those fall. I'm going to pick up 1 bicone with 1 needle, and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through that 1 bead. Now I'm going to put my 2 needles together, and I'm going to pull just on this first box so that I make sure it gets right in the center of my thread. And it is, and that's exactly what I want. Now with each needle, I'm going to pick up 1 bicone and let those drop. On 1 needle, I'm going to pick up 1 bicone, and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through that 1 bicone. So that now you have 2 boxes. Now for the third box, we're going to go ahead and make the turn just like we did in the suspicion ring video. So with this needle here, I'm going to pick up 2 4mm. With the other needle, I'm going to pick up 1 4mm, and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through this 1 bead that I just picked up. So that when you pull, now your beads are coming out to the side instead of at the top like they normally would, and that's exactly what you want. On each needle, I want to pick up 1 4mm bicone, let those fall. On 1 needle, I'm going to pick up 1 4mm and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through that one bead. Move my camera a little bit here. There we go. Okay. This outside needle here, well, keep pulling it every which way here. Outside needle is going to pick up 2 4mm bicones. Inside needle is going to pick up 1 4mm bicone, and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through that one bead. So that now I'm exiting on the side again. Each needle picks up 1 4mm. You're going to let those fall. On one needle, I'm going to pick up 1 4mm, and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through that one bead. Okay, this outside needle here is going to pick up 2 4mm. This inside needle is going to pick up 1 4mm, and you're going to cross your needles opposite ways through that one bead. Once again, I'm coming out to the side, but I'm ready to complete my box. So each needle picks up 1 4mm, let those fall, and then you're coming out here. So we're going to take our needles and go opposite ways through the bicone right across from it. So that when you pull, now you have a 3x3 square of beads. Now, if you actually have this in your hand and you look, the inside 4 beads, so 1, 2, 3, 4, these are not connected. So we're going to take this inside thread here. I'm coming out of this bicone here, and I'm going to come through this inside one, this one, this one, and this one. So I'm going to come through those 4 beads here in the center circle. So I'm going to come down through one bead, through this one, this one, and then that one. So I've gone through all 4 beads here in the center to connect them. Now I'm going to come through this crystal, and this crystal. So I'm basically just going to come up and around and down. So this one, and this one. So I'm going to come through that one, this one, and then this one. Now with the other needle, my thread that's exiting here, I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to go through the same bead I just went through with the other needle, so that my needles are now coming out opposite sides of the same bead, just like this. Now you're done with your base and you're ready for the top embellishments. So with each needle, you want to pick up 1 size 15 seed bead, and you're going to let those fall. With one needle, you're going to pick up your Monte. I'm going to slide it down a little bit off the one needle, and I'm going to take the other needle and come through the other hole. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making an X shape through the Monte, making sure the color is facing upward. So let me flip it over here so that you can see. I come through this hole here and this hole here, so that when I pull the threads, it makes an X shape through the bead. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this on down to the base so that it's going to lay on top of our first little circle of 4 here. I'm going to pick up one size 15 seed bead with each needle, and I'm going to cross my needles. I'm going to pull this one back so you can see. This was the original bead I was exiting, so I'm going to come to the very next bead in that row, and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through the very next bead. So I'm going to go through this one. I'm going to take the other needle and go through the same bead. So that when you pull, you've added your first embellishment to the top. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. So you're going to pick up a size 15 seed bead onto each needle. Let those fall. You want to pick up your Monte. Remember to make sure the color is facing upward as you add the Monte. So I went through one hole with one needle, and I'm going to come through the other hole with the other needle. So I'm making an X shape through the bead. Pull that down. Pick up a size 15 seed bead with each needle. Let those fall. I'm going to come through the very next bead in that row. So I was originally coming out this bicone right here. I'm adding my embellishments, and I'm going to come to the very next bicone in that row, and I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through that one bead. One more time. I need a size 15 seed bead onto each needle. Let those fall. One needle. I'm going to pick up my Monte. Make sure my color is facing upward. I'm going to take the other needle and cross to make my X shape through the Monte. You want to pick up one size 15 with each needle. Let those fall. And you're going to take and cross your needles opposite ways through the last bicone here on the end. So that when you pull, now you have your first row of embellishments complete. Now we need to get into position. We want to be coming out of the next bicone here on this row so that we can work our way down to do our next row of embellishments. So I'm going to take the thread that is coming out towards my beadwork, so this one here, and I'm going to come through this bead, this bead, this bead, and this bead. So I'm going to come through 1, 2, 3, 4 beads so that I can come around and get into position with this needle. So I'm going to come through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and pull. Okay, so now that thread is in position. Now this thread over here, I'm basically going to come through the end bicone here, through the one right in between my two embellishments, through this side one, and then through the top, so that my needles will come out opposite ways of this one here. So again, I'm going to come through the side bicone, through the one right in between these two embellishments, through the one here on this side, and then through the top. So I'm going to come through, I'm going to come through this one, through the embellishment here in the middle, and if you have to, you can look on the back to see where that's at. But if you'll just stick your needle right through it, you'll be able to see. So I'm going through that one. Through this side one here. And then through the top. So that now my needles are coming out opposite sides of the same bead. Now, I like to work always in the same direction, so I'm just going to kind of flip this around so that I can always be working upward. If you don't want to do that, you're going to be doing the same thing I'm doing, just coming down like this. But you're going to take one size 15 on each needle and let those fall. You're going to pick up one Monte, and you're going to make the X shape through the Monte and pull. Pick up one size 15 seed bead onto each needle, and you're going to cross your needles opposite ways through the very next bicone in that row. So I'm originally exiting here. So I'm going to come to the very next one, which is this one, and I'm going to go opposite ways through it. So, through that way. And then this needle will go through this way. So that when you pull, now you have your next embellishment. Okay, we're just going to continue. We're going to pick up 115 onto each needle. Let those drop. Pick up one Monte. Make your X shape through the Monte. Pull that thread on down. Pick up one size 15 onto each needle. Let those drop. Cross your needles opposite ways through the very next bicone in the row. And then one more time. 115 onto each needle. Let those drop. Pick up your Monte. Make the X shape through the Monte. Pick up 115 onto each needle. Let those fall. And then cross your needles opposite ways through the last bicone on that row. So that's the middle bicone here. So now you have 2 rows of the embellishment completed. And you need to get into position to be exiting out of this bead to finish the third row. So to do that, I'm going to take this needle here first, and I'm going to come through the side bicone, this one, and then this one. So I'm going to come through 1, 2, 3, 4 beads to get into position. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now now that needle is in position. With the other needle, which is this one here, still coming out of the middle bicone, and this is going to be a little hard to see, okay? So I'm going to show you first on the top, and then I'm going to flip it over and show you on the bottom. I'm going to come through this bead here between these two embellishments, the bead here between the two embellishments, through the side bead, and then through the top bead. So basically, flipping it over this way so you can see, I'm going to be going through this one, this one, this one, and then this one, so that my threads will come out opposite sides of that bicone. So I'm going to come through this one here between those two embellishments, through this bead between these two embellishments, through this side bead here, and then through the last bicone there on the end. So that now your threads are coming out opposite sides of that last bicone. And again, I always like to stitch in the same direction, so I'm just going to flip it to where I'm working up that way. So again, final row, 1 size 15 onto each needle. Let those fall. You're going to pick up 1 Monte, and you're going to make the X shape through the Monte. Just be careful not to get it caught on any of your beadwork. Here we go. I'm going to pick up 1 15 onto each needle, and I'm going to let those fall. I'm going to cross the needles through the very next bicone in that row. So that now I have that embellishment of 15 onto each needle. Let those fall. You want to pick up a Monte, make the X shape through the Monte, pull that down. Pick up a size 15 onto each needle. Let those fall. Cross the needles opposite ways through the next 4 millimeter in that row. And then for your last embellishment, we're going to do those just like we've done all the others. So you're going to pick up 1 size 15 onto each needle and let those drop. You're going to pick up one Monte, make the X shape through the Monte, bring that down, pick up 115 onto each needle, let those fall, and then cross your needles opposite ways through the last bicone here on the end. So that when you pull, now you have the top embellishments completed. Now with one needle, I'm going to take, and I'm actually going to take the one coming out here at the corner, I'm going to pick up a size 11 seed bead, and I'm going to come right through the next 4 millimeter along the outer edge, so that when you pull, that size 11 goes right into place. Pick up a size 11 seed bead, come through the very next bicone, and we're going to go around the piece picking up a size 15 and going through the very next bicone all the way around. This not only covers up some of the space that we have showing here along the edges, but it also gives us our size 11 seed bead that we're going to anchor our ring band off of. Excuse me. So I'm just coming all the way around, picking up 111 and going through the next 4 millimeter. Once you've gone all the way around, you're back to where you started. I'm going to go around through the outside beads once more, and then I'm going to tie these two threads off, and I'll be ready to start the ring band. Once you have reinforced and trimmed off the tails, this is what you will have. Now, this would make a really cute earring if you wanted to do that. Excuse me. Or we're going to do the ring out of it. Now, I've threaded a big eye needle onto each end of about 12 inches of 0.5 millimeter stretch magic. I'm going to stick that needle through any one of these 4 corners here. Doesn't matter which corner, they're all the same. So I'm going to stick my needle through one of the size 11s in the corner. And I'm going to center the thread in that one bead. Now, I'm going to be using my 3 millimeter rounds for this. And I'm going to pick up 1 3 millimeter onto each needle. And I'm going to let those fall. On one needle, I'm going to pick up 1 3 millimeter. And I'm going to cross my needles opposite ways through that one bead. So that I've made my first loop. I'm going to pick up 1 3 millimeter onto each needle. Let those fall. Pick up 1 3 millimeter with one needle. Cross your needles opposite ways through that one bead. And you're going to continue picking up 1 3 millimeter onto each needle. Let those fall. And then pick up 1 3 millimeter with one needle. And cross your needles opposite ways through that one bead. Continue doing this until you reach the desired length for your ring band. Now remember, you want the band to be a little tight to your finger, so normally I do about 24 to 27 beads, but you'll want, just continue until you reach the desired length, and I'll show you how to finish it off. Once you have the ring band to the desired length, you'll want to finish off by picking up 1 3 millimeter onto each needle. I'm going to flip the ring over, and I'm going to come to the size 11 seed bead opposite where I started. So I started the band here. So I'm going to come to this one here, and I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come through just the one bead. Now, I'm not going to cross my needles opposite ways. I'm just putting that one needle through it. And now I'm going to tie the two threads together into a couple of good knots. And you want to be careful not to get that little 3mm caught up inside of the knot that you're making. So put you some good knots in there. Trim your tails. And now you have a beautiful ring to wear, and you can really dress it up or really wear it on a casual day. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learning how to make the new retro glam ring. We do have the 4 color kits available on our Etsy site, as well as just the pattern in case you need just the pattern. So I hope you guys enjoyed and have a great week, and we'll see you again next time. Bye bye.